G'day YouTube, warbles on a lot here. I'm sure somebody at some point in time has written a definition of an optimist, which includes anybody who, in order to vacate the pad within the fence in order to install a new buoy wall tank, has resorted to a carving knife in order to extract the sludge and the leaves and the detritus from the bag, and then decides to try to sew it all back up and use contact cement on an old inflatable air mattress remnant with which to construct a patch. One big one for the hack and slash and stab wound, and one little one for the spot where a stick punched through at some point in the process. So anyway, that's the plan. The reason for attempting the feat being, of course, even though it had some slow leaks, it was holding 2,200 litres the day I pumped it out in order to remove it. So if I can repair it, then perhaps I can stick it over there and use it as a place to store spare water until it finally becomes completely decrepit. But these bags, list price is $200 at the moment, and this one has about $200 worth of expanding construction foam squirted into its air boom. So if I can fix it with a little bit of tailoring and contact cement, and then relying on water pressure to hold the patch onto the contact cement on the inside of the bag, which the stitching should render mechanically sound in engineering terms, then yeah, it might work, and it doesn't cost much to try. So all there is to do is to suck it and see. And nobody knows how it's going to turn out, but that's what experimentation is all about. Is that not so? With the best part of an entire tube of contact cement onto that side of the patch, and another tube onto that side of the patch. And when they've dried down, we'll see what sort of a job we can do of transferring the one onto the mirror image of the other. This whole operation is riddled with optimism. Not quite boundless, mindless optimism, but optimism nonetheless. And of course, you know the difference between an optimist and a pessimist? They say the pessimist is generally better informed. So they do. And of course, they also say nothing ventured, nothing gained. Isn't that right, little fella? And there we have it. Not actually perfect. Probably in excess of 92% of the patch went where I wanted it to go, but the thing is, you have to dangle the patch vertically, fold it in half backwards over your hands while attaching that bottom corner, and then sort of gradually peel the patch back on. And by the time you notice that it's misaligned, it's completely beyond your ability to correct. As I said, this is the kind of job where you get it right first time or you put up with it. And in this case, got to put up with it. Whereas my theory was to have at least 2 fingers between the end of the suture line and the end of the patch. Up here we've only got 1.5 fingers. So happily, I had that much margin. The repair is contrived so that it can be as much as 10% wrong and it'll still work, I hope. Let's face it, that's the same contact adhesive with the same time expired air mattress material glued onto the same, I think it's polyvinyl chloride that the pool is constructed from. Anyway, herewith the definition of optimism. Incarnate. Warbles on a lot to YouTube. Ciao.